Hello! Fears. Let's talk about fears. Hi, if you're new here, I am Sam. This is Shadow Harvest. I do a video every single day of the month here during the lovely October. So if you miss any of them, there is a lovely playlist which you can go click. But let's talk about fears and how I've been exploring them artistically, and I can show you guys something that I have been kind of on again hello, let's not kick the camera. On again, off again, working on routinely, and how I'm kind of exploring it in an artistic way. So, if you did not know, I have many a fine art degree at this point, a bachelor's of fine arts and a master's of fine arts, and my thesis for grad school was a graphic novel, or at least a part of one. And after I graduated, I put it down, and I hadn't touched it for a long time because I wasn't really quite sure where I wanted to go with it or how I was going to adapt and change it. And basically what it kind of came off and evolved into over time was that everyone has a supernatural ability in classic comic book style, but here's the kicker: they're all based on your fears, and they're all hella inconvenient. My main character, Claire, she can walk on water, but only when she's sleepwalking, and she's definitely afraid of water, and that is informed from some trauma from her past, which we get into in the comic and all that. And basically, over the past 2 years or so, I've slowly but surely been converting this graphic novel, because I realized I need a little more rolling with it, into a webcomic. So you guys can go read it if you would like to. I will put the link in the description box down below, and attach it to my link trees and all that. And I've been a little bit weird before about connecting my witchiness or my witchy channels or whatever along with my comic stuff, because I don't know, I didn't necessarily see if they were like directly related or in theme before, but clearly that ain't the case. There is a whole lot of my art that is informed by my witchiness, and I'm sorry, fears, shadow work. Let's talk about that, shall we? So one of the things I really loved about this idea of like fears and powers and how that could like tie into magic is how much of our magic and our spirituality is connected to our emotions, and how we get triggered by things, and certain things get brought up for us, and we don't actually know like the roots, or sometimes it's very easy to find the root or like acknowledge, oh, I'm afraid of the thing, but just acknowledging it doesn't make the fear go away. I can tell you that like I'm not a big fan of clowns. I can tell you even the exact origin of where that fear started. It was a series of events. It was not that dramatic. It's called Watching It Way Too Young, an undue trip to the circus by your parents, and then learning about John Wayne Gacy all at the tender age of 11 in a weekend. It's too much. No thank you. But when it comes to, you can even pinpoint all the way down. That does not mean that when I don't see a clown going, I don't go, like right away. Like there's a visceral reaction that happens. And I'm so fascinated with, if you did have abilities to the likes of those at Marvel or DC or anything else, but they were fear-based, not seemingly randomly put upon people or caused by radioactive spiders or any of that deal. How do you handle them then? How do you adapt? How do you grow with them? Does the power grow with you? And even more so, which I think is so much fun, and the reason why I am writing my comic the way I am, is exploring it under the concept of fear of the unknown and having everyone kind of not know, which is what I love about magic in so many ways, and spirituality. The true fact of the matter is, and one of the reasons why I always have so much grains of salt and stuff with all of my craft in these videos, is because when it comes to how the world truly came into being, what happens to us after we die, is there something beyond consciousness, like all of these things, we don't know. We really don't know. No one has ever come back from the dead. We can extrapolate and look into the evidence that we do have, but our knowledge is so lacking on this form, and so much of our traditions and our culture and all of that is so wrapped up into the spiritual exploration and wondering how all this stuff came about. And for hundreds and now probably thousands of years, honestly, we've always expressed that as art. Humans love to explore this type of thing within art and piece it together, pull it apart, reinterpret old stories that they have heard, and explore it in this way. So that is kind of an overwhelming umbrella thing that's kind of happening in the world as well. So the title of my comic is Above the Surface. And it follows Claire, as I described her before, and how she kind of navigates her abilities while a whole bunch of weird stuff is happening in the city around her. And one of the reasons so much weird stuff is happening is because people are slowly but surely gaining these powers based on their fears, but nobody knows why. That constant unknown is there. And I will have a variety of characters exploring it from a more structural religious pursuit, aka there's definitely the church involved thinking everyone's a demon. There are people who are agnostic being like, something weird's happening, this is creeping me out. There are scientists who are clearly studying this and going into whole background stuff and all of that, and basically there's just a whole lot of things that come up when no one really knows why a thing is happening and everyone's kind of freaking out about it, which in so many ways just explores fear, expands your fear even more, right? Fear of the unknown, fear of not understanding, fear of what we see when real chaos is happening, and how that like just seems to domino and roll and spiral into something even more, I think is a fascinating thing to really look into, and especially with my art and exploring that also with the craft and comics. Here you can kind of see a little bit of my comic. It would mean a lot if you guys at least checked it out and seen the new episode. I recently posted another one just a bit, and I'm hoping to be updating it once every 2 weeks. For a time before I'll go on a little bit of a break and hiatus to like rack up some more pages, because oh my goodness, if you think filming videos for this channel and everything like that can take some time, but making comics, man, it is so it's so time consuming, so much work at every single stage. And I'm writing and drawing it, I do all of it. It's the whole thing. I color, digitally ink, all of that. It's all, I do it all. So anyway, that was today's video talking about fears and abilities and kind of just revealing another exploration of mine that I do. Check it out if you feel so inclined. And anyway, new videos every single day, so I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.